Now, I just wanted to just conclude our tour, and I love to close out with this little flower. You see, this is, of course, the hibiscus, and a hibiscus is the state flower of Hawaii. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there are different species of hibiscus found all around the world. Well, Queen Quet, if you would join me, please. Just leave the camera with someone. And you definitely can help me. You know, Queen, lady, in many parts of the world, they take the petals of the hibiscus. They would dry this petal and they would make it into a tea. And that tea has long been attributed with stress relief. Well, actually, what they do, the way how the hibiscus does that is it actually helps to lower the blood pressure. Well, in addition to that, in many parts of the South Pacific, they take this beautiful flower and they crush it and make it into a black paste, and they mix it with coconut oil, and they would apply it and anoint your hair with it, and that would help to keep it nice and dark and black as a hair dye.
How are you? Ivan. Good to meet you, man.
You do.
Great work.
That's the sketch of Garden of the Grove.
Yeah, that's a sketch.
And how much is the sketch?
That one is 20.
Okay. That's beautiful.
Now, what is this lizard called? What's the...
We call them the curly tails.
The curly tails?
Yeah, because they always got that tail up.
Up like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's him that I saw.
Yeah,
Remember I told you?
Yeah,
but I was saying
The
no.
one we were showing you was that's him.
That's him there, the last one I saw. But that first thing I saw that was reminded me like a crab or scorpion running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it-
And he
That's
took off fast. So it
Oh,
might
yeah.
have been him.
It's definitely him.
With the tail up that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. That's a nice one there too.
The Michael Johnson.
Yeah, I saw that first thing. That's a nice one.
That was the Princess Pool before, you know, the hurricane came.
Ah.
Closed that property down.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I was a lifeguard.
Yeah.
Artisan himself, yes. All right.
Alright, great.
Thank you so much, Brother Ivan. I gotta tell Ivan back once and tell how to meet Ivan over here.
Alright.
Okay. Oh, and you painted these, Kwame,
Yeah.
you see these? These paintings
Oh, wow.
now? Coconut shells. Nice.
Excellent work, bro.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
How long you been doing it?
30 years.
30 years?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty practice.
I know that. I was about to say that. You've been practicing a while. Yeah. Now, who is this right here?
That's our Prime Minister.
That is your Prime Minister, right? I thought so.
And that's the flag.
And that. Oh, I see it now. Yes,
Okay.
he's behind him. Yes, yes.
Forward, upward, onward,
Onward
together.
together.
Yeah. Excellent.
Exactly.
Okay. My family name is Jones, but I'm married to Johnson. Okay.
Okay.
But I got you check and you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's a very common name.
Okay. You got her doing it?
No.
And then I want you to get her my basket over there with Queen Quet on it. Okay. Come on, let me take a picture of her while she's throwing my name in the basket, please. You don't mind, do you?
Excuse me.
How long you been doing
I
this?
see her escape.
I can tell. Not a new thing for you at all.
Okay.
So you're a native here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You and then E.T.
Oh, E.T.
Yes.
You.
U-E-T. You just got to do it.
All right, just tell me a little bit about, you've seen a little, I know you aren't finished with the tour yet, but tell me what you thought about the garden and some of the statues and, you know, what you've seen along the way. Tell me what you thought about
Well, first, me want to say greetings and things like that. I return the family with you in Bahamas. We're glad to be back on Grand Bahama and in Freeport. And we're so glad to be here with her children again. And so being here in the Garden of the Groves really reminds me a lot of the Gullah Geechee Nation. We have a lot of the similar plants. We use them for the same healing traditions. We just call it root medicine instead of bush medicine. So it has been just like a coming home, and I love the serenity of this space. What I saw in photographs cannot attest to what I feel actually being here. And it was such a blessing to actually come and see the statues, because on my first, well, not my first, but my second visit, but my first official royal visit to the Bahamas, we went to Nassau as well as Freeport, and we saw the sacred space there, and the same artist had the sacred women carved out there. And so to come into the Garden of the Groves and see them, it felt like my sisters were actually there waiting for me. So it really feels good to be here.
And what do the statues, I guess, remind you of, or what do they represent?
Well, the statues in particular, the one with the lady where we're standing next to her, she was the one I gravitated to. And I went and said, well, can I step in there? And Erica said, yes, come right on. And she said, do you know this is actually the seat of the chief? I said, well, then that means I need to sit down, right? Because I'm a chiefess. And so it was just a drawing, because she looks like a lot of the elders in our community. Like when we would go into what we call going into the wilderness, you would go in and seek and pray as part of becoming part of a praise house there. And so she looks like the women that would be the ones that would guide the seekers through that process. So immediately seeing her, it was like seeing your grandmother or your great-grandmother with the scarf on the head and everything, and then the apron, I could just see it, and it was as if she was welcoming me to the house.
Okay, and you mentioned the feeling that you get, the serenity that you feel. Now, this is a little bit different from your last visit, because you didn't have so much of a nature tour the last time.
Right.
It was more, well, you saw Freetown the last time.
Last time we were here, we were at Freetown. We went to the Kaya Market. We had Jonkanus. We had a lot of conch. We had all kind of things going on. We had Lee Jonkanu, Big Jonkanu. We had the choir. We had all of this.
Right.
And so this time, it's sort of the other end of the spectrum.
Right.
Because this time it's more quiet. And we're just hearing God talk. We're watching the creatures run around. We saw the raccoon sleeping with his leg kicked up on the wall. We thought that was hilarious. I'd like to lay down too. And so this is a very different trip. But this is a real trip for us. I mean, not that the other one wasn't, because you connect with the people, but it's also important to connect to the land. Because in our culture, we believe that the land is alive as well, and that is part of our family as well. So it's as if we didn't have enough time to pay tribute, really, to that part of the family on the last trip. So we had to come back and have the family reunion here this time.
Okay, there was a question raised when we actually arrived at the Garden of the Groves, and I want you to believe that I do not take any of your questions for, as we would say in the Bahamas, for a joke. And so with that, there was a question as it relates to Cat Island, And there was a Lord Proprietor from the Carolinas. His name is Lord Rolle, R-O-L-L-E. And Lord Rolle's importance and significance to the islands of the Bahamas is that he would have the largest slave population here in the Bahama Islands. And so one of those large populations was on the island of Cat Island. Right, so with that...
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, it has definitely been my pleasure having you. It's been a pleasure to get to know, and it is truly the exchange of cultures and information that is very important to making this whole world a big village, and a village that everyone gets along.
This is our song of this journey. Oh, we are